Have you ever felt overlooked or underestimated? What does it feel like to be the one always left behind, to watch others move forward while you stand still? How do you find your own way when the map of life seems to have no roads marked for you? These are not just questions, but the keys to unlocking the story of Jack. Today I'm going to share with you a tale that's not just a story, but a journey that will touch your heart and lift your spirits. But here's the thing. There's something extraordinary waiting for you at the end of this story. A twist, a revelation, something that will make you see life in a new, hopeful light. So I encourage you to stay with us until the very end. You won't want to miss the beautiful message that unfolds. In a small town lived a young man named Jack. Jack was like any other person in the town, working a regular job at the local bookstore, spending his weekends either in the tranquility of his small apartment or with his two best friends, Tom and Ethan. They had been inseparable since their school days, sharing everything from secret hideouts to teenage dreams. As they grew into adulthood, their friendship remained a constant in Jack's life. He cherished the bond they shared, often finding comfort in their familiar company. However, recently Jack had begun to feel a change in the air. It was subtle at first, like the gentle shift in the wind before a storm. Tom and Ethan started doing things without him. They shared inside jokes to which Jack had no clue, and their once regular hangouts became less frequent. Jack tried to brush off these changes, telling himself he was just being paranoid. But the instances of being left out became more frequent and more evident. He noticed pictures on social media of Tom and Ethan at events to which he hadn't been invited. Their group chats grew quieter, at least on his end. The feeling of being left out was like a slow spreading stain on his heart. Jack found himself wrestling with questions that had no answers. What had he done wrong? Why was he suddenly the outsider? The pain of exclusion was deep, and it was made all the worse by the fact that he couldn't understand why it was happening. One day, feeling particularly low, Jack took a walk to clear his mind. He wandered aimlessly through the town, his thoughts swirling like leaves in a gust of wind. His feet led him to a small park on the outskirts of the town, a place he hadn't visited since he was a child. It was a quiet spot, overlooked by most, but it held a certain serenity. As he sat on a weathered bench, Jack's gaze fell upon an old man sitting under a large oak tree. The man seemed to be in deep thought, his eyes closed, a content smile playing on his lips. There was a sense of peace about him that drew Jack in. The man opened his eyes as Jack approached. He had a kind, wrinkled face and eyes that seemed to have seen much of the world. He introduced himself as Master Lee, a Buddhist monk who spent his days enjoying the simplicity of nature. Jack found himself opening up to Master Lee, sharing his feelings of being left out by his friends. Master Lee listened quietly, nodding occasionally, his eyes reflecting a deep understanding. When Jack finished, Master Lee spoke. "Jack, don't beg for love from those who have no time for you, from someone who thinks only of him or herself. Don't ever do it. The person who makes you feel invisible and insignificant with indifference does not deserve you. You deserve someone who, with their attention, makes you feel important and present. Love must be shown, but should never, ever be begged for. You deserve someone that says less, but does more. The person that only looks for you when they need you does not deserve you. Look for the person who is by your side when you need them, and not just when it is in their favor. You deserve someone who takes you in and makes you feel important in your life, without expecting anything in return. The person who deserves you is one that, by having the freedom to choose, gets close to you, appreciates you, and dedicates their time and thoughts to you." Master Lee stood and beckoned at Jack to follow him. They walked in silence to a small stream that flowed through the park. The water was clear, revealing the smooth stones at the bottom. "Look at this stream, Jack," Master Lee said. "It flows effortlessly, providing water to all, yet never stays in one place begging to be appreciated. It simply gives and moves on, finding its own path. Be like this stream, Jack. Flow in your own direction and nurture yourself." Jack felt a sense of clarity wash over him. He had been so focused on what he felt he was losing that he hadn't considered what he might gain from walking his own path. Inspired by Master Lee's words, Jack decided to explore his own interests and passions. As Jack focused on his personal development, his need for his friends' approval diminished. He started to appreciate his own company, finding joy in his own achievements and discoveries. The solitude that had once scared him now became his source of strength. As Jack dove deeper into his passions, he discovered an unexpected love for learning. He stumbled upon an advertisement for a competitive exam that offered a scholarship for advanced studies. The idea excited him. It was a chance to further his education and explore new horizons. Jack, however, decided to keep this new goal to himself. Every night, after spending hours at his painting corner or jotting down thoughts in his journal, Jack would turn to his books. He studied tirelessly, often staying up late into the night. His small apartment was filled with notes and textbooks, but to the outside world, he was just the same Jack, quiet and unassuming. Months of hard work passed. Jack balanced his job, his hobbies, and his intense study schedule. It was a challenging period, but Jack found strength in his newfound purpose. He no longer felt the need for validation from others. His goals and ambitions were enough. Then, one bright morning, the results of the exam were announced. Jack's name was not just on the list, it was at the very top. He had passed with flying colors, securing the scholarship. The news spread quickly, and the next day, Jack's achievement was in the local newspaper. That morning, as Jack walked through the town, he noticed a change in the way people looked at him. There were smiles, nods of respect, and congratulations from neighbors and acquaintances. Tom and Ethan heard the news too. They came to Jack's apartment, genuinely happy for him, but also surprised. "We had no idea you were aiming for something like this," they said. Jack just smiled. He realized their surprise was a testament to how much he had changed, quietly and determinedly. In the following days, Jack received many messages and calls. People who had once ignored him or doubted his potential were now praising his success. While he appreciated their congratulations, he knew that their recognition was not what truly mattered. His achievement was a result of his own hard work and perseverance, not their validation. Jack's success brought a new set of opportunities. The scholarship opened doors for higher education and potential career paths he had never imagined. But despite his achievement, Jack remained grounded. He continued to pursue his hobbies, spend time in nature, and meet with Master Lee, who was one of the first to congratulate him. "Your hard work has paid off, Jack," Master Lee said with a smile. "But remember, true success is not in accolades or recognition, but in the journey and the person you become along the way." Jack took Master Lee's words to heart. He knew that his journey was about more than just passing an exam or gaining recognition. It was about self-discovery, growth, and finding inner peace and contentment. As Jack prepared for the next chapter of his life, he felt grateful for the journey he had embarked on. The loneliness he once felt had transformed into a powerful drive for personal growth. He had learned to value himself, not by the standards of others, but by his own.